Hello and welcome to the Crackpot podcast with James LaFond and Lynn. This is the first episode presented in 4 parts. We taped this episode on June 15th and we hope you enjoy it. Here is part 2. Yeah, he's on summer vacation. He's at summer camp though. He hasn't reported in as much as usual.
Yeah, well, he's on a summer vacation, shooting bears in Alaska or something, but he still managed to shoot like 40 articles at me today. I came home and opened up my email and got clobbered. So,
oh, good. Okay, he's all right then.
That's so he's when he's not doing it regularly, you usually just get like an avalanche of stuff when he does have time to get.
In between a pressing wildlife in Alaska, he can jump online and keep you updated.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That really, most of my Baltimore news I get from Jeremy.
That's funny.
As he cries in his beer over the fact that the Chicago Chiracs are just being pummeled by the Harm City Hood Rats in the Murder Bowl.
It's
I don't
really
think anybody else is even in the running.
No, it's an impressive performance.
My favorite story. 3 guys sent me a story about some writer that got carjacked in Baltimore. I haven't read it yet, but there's another story that Shep sent me today. Our person in Baltimore that is in charge, there's a health inspector who is in charge of the anti-violence initiatives, was just attacked, which I just thought was great. It's as if these guys knew who that person was. They're like, oh no.
Let's put it to a test. We're gonna test out this anti-violence program right away. I think that's one thing that maybe gets lost is that you really live in a place where everything is just at the extreme. A lot of us of your readers live in a much more kind of normal and manageable situation, but you just have the maximum. Everything's turned up to 11 over there.
That's because I'm a time traveler. I'm living in your future.
That's right.
Okay. So you know what's coming. Okay.
Yeah.
So 20 years from now, when the house next door is all of a sudden occupied by 17 unemployed people, all large and belligerent, then you'll be able to break out an old Harm City book. Predict all the wonderful things that are going to be coming your way.
You're a prophet. Prophet of doom.
I'm blessed in a Confucian way to be living in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. I guess so. Okay, did you see the Dennis Rodman story?
I think Dennis Rodman's doing a great service, not just to the United States, but to mankind. He's single-handed, freelance diplomatic corps to this whack job hermit kingdom. I watched a documentary where those twerps from Vice followed him and some Harlem Globetrotters around, and he's like a dignity. He's like, it's like reading the Conan story, The Veil of Lost Women, where the cannibal king has got Conan sitting next to him, and they're like gorging from the pot, and they're watching the dancing and everything like that. This guy is treated like a king when he goes over there, and I imagine it's quite a rush for him.
Yeah,
but
and he's taller than every single person in the country. That's kind of fun. Fun experience.
Apparently, they don't have the nutritional resources to develop a Hung Man Chow kind of guy. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's like a 7'6" MMA fighter.
Oh.
With his head is as big as my torso.
Oh my gosh.
Just a gigantic guy.
Yeah.
Who beat up Jose Canseco, who decided to fight in this thing.
Oh, I didn't even hear about that.
Which was really great. It looked like Jose looked like the victim in one of the Rob Zombie, Halloween movies. It was great.
Yuck.
I enjoyed that quite a lot. Baseball players getting clobbered by real athletes. That always.
Why? Yeah. Why? That didn't seem like a smart move on Jose's part.
Oh, he was making some money.
Making some money, yeah. There you go. It's worth it.
Yeah, but he looked like a rat scurrying for the corner. It was bad. He didn't think it was a good idea what was going down.
Yeah.
You see that query on his face. There's a ringside photographer who got an upshot of him. So the photographer's below him, but this guy looks like he's trying to put his face through the floor so that he doesn't get hit anymore. So it was great. And the big monster dude was just hammering him. So we still, civilization hasn't completely taken hold. We can still have some real moments in public life.
Yeah. Well, I think I agree with you that Rodman is doing the God Emperor's work out there, as Jeremy likes to call Trump. Because they say Rodman was on Trump's TV show twice. So they're pals. They're known to be friends. So this is like a back channel move because they sent this guy home. As soon as Rodman got there, they sent some American guy home from the he's been in the hospital and the prison hospital in North Korea. So it's truly the most entertaining possible political situation that we have. I'm really grateful.
One thing that a lot of people don't realize is that in the ancient world, the champion athletes, when they retired, they often worked as ambassadors.
Yeah, well, and I think so.
Somebody like that,
especially someone who's probably competed internationally. NBA is not as big on that, but he was on the Olympic team, so he has worldwide notoriety, and NBA is big all over the world, I guess. So people know who he is, and like you say, he was met with a great fanfare when he goes to North Korea. So he's a respected figure, and he's a good citizen, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I won't hold that against him, but for other people, maybe it makes them feel better about him. The thing about being an athlete like that, at that stature, it's underestimated by a lot of people. My uncle coached football at some colleges, including VMI and Army, and he played in a brutal game in the 1950s at Texas A&M where he broke this guy's leg on purpose. He was a lineman, and just being in that, knowing all these football players that go on to the pros and then get into business and they make all these connections, he did very well in business life and ended up getting into real estate. He was the kind of guy that men who haven't really broken somebody's leg like to be around. They want someone out to rub off on them. So you can, especially somebody that's maybe been pampered. There's a local rich boy that owns a pizzeria that's famous for people who have fled Baltimore. This guy mails his crab cakes and his pizza all over the country.
Oh.
And anytime there's a sporting event, he'll go to it with his son and they'll take pictures with all the athletes. They'll pay money to get backstage. So guys that have just been stuck in business and politics, they love jocks.
Yeah.
Because it's something real.
Yeah. I think that's true, yeah. It gives it gives a full dimension, especially a jock who then later proves himself in business. Like this guy, played in the NFL and now he's running a business. So he can do what you can do in business, but you can't do what he did on the field, So
that's right.
Some more.
And there's something primal about it. I remember when I fought down in Chesapeake, Virginia, I got cut. We had a machete duel that I did. And there were people at ringside. There was a couple, it was a married couple came up to me, these rednecks. They're both blonde, so they're like feral Norse people in America. And they were poking my arm all around where it was cut.
Oh.
Yeah, like to watch the blood bubbling out. They're like, wow, does that really hurt? And,
What the hell?
I mean, I felt like my finger was broken, so I wasn't about to let them see that and start yanking on that. But they they were just fascinated by it. They loved talking to me because because what they had just witnessed me do, it was kind of a way to get some of that to rub off.
Yeah.
I guess it was crazy.
Yeah, that is really crazy. I mean, I'm just thinking about what kind of diseases they're putting into your bloodstream.
They were pretty drunk, so I think their breath was probably sterile.
That's good. I believe in that. That's. You get some ethanol in the system, and it at least temporarily can kind of disinfect from the redneck germs.
I enjoyed Chesapeake, Virginia. Went down there twice.
Oh, good. And I love rednecks, for the record. I associate with them as often as I can.
I've gotten to the age where rednecks treat me well. They're now my favorite people. They used to always want to run me over with their pickup trucks and beat me up and throw bottles at me when I looked like the guy that their wife was running around with.
Oh, they don't like that. They don't like that?
But now, me looking like the guy that, their wife doesn't want to run around with, I'm a cool guy to them. And so they'll even stop their big belching Ram pickup truck and let me cross the street in front of them, which I appreciate.
Thank you for listening to episode 1, part 2 of the Crackpot podcast with James LaFond and Lynn Lockhart.